Hello, 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 hello. Happy Tuesday. Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? We're not going to have another mishap like we had yesterday, Monday. What day was that? Where my audio randomly disappeared. Let me close out some tabs here. I've got like 500 tabs open on my computer. Just finished dinner 2 seconds ago. It's been one of those days. And you get me makeup free because I'm fresh from a facial. And my cardinal rule is unless there are extreme circumstances, no makeup goes on this face the day after a facial or like the day of a facial because all the pores are open. All of the skin has been exfoliated and hydrated and treated with 500 different things. And the last thing we want to do is screw that up by slapping some makeup on it. So you get me barefaced and beautiful today. Hi friends. Happy Wednesday. Have I already said happy Tuesday? Why is it I haven't done a Tuesday live stream in a long time? Like, when did I stop doing Tuesday night live streams? It wasn't that long ago, I guess. Worship team, so July maybe? I don't know. But for whatever reason, it is forever ingrained in my head that Tuesday night is live stream night. And so I get all jacked up all the time. But it is what it is. We are here. It is November. We are here for our November community chat, which means it is the holiday season. What? I mean, depending on who you are. This morning, what I do this morning? It's the holiday season for some. For me, I'm embracing the holiday season. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. You know how like discombobulated my brain is? I have been, oh, that's right. That's right. I live streamed this morning. I thought, no joke, for weeks. Yeah. For weeks, I thought that, this weekend is daylight savings time, right? And I'm on at church this weekend. So I always, without fail, I end up on for some special day, be it fall back, spring forward. Hi, Autumn, good to see you. Or like Memorial Day or something. I'm always scheduled without fail for some like special day. I have been thinking since I saw that I was scheduled for November 7th that I lost an hour of sleep on Sunday. I have lived the last like 3-4 weeks under the impression that this Sunday I'm losing an hour of sleep. And that really blows because I have to be up early anyway, and I'm going to lose an hour of sleep. Thoroughly convinced. My brain never corrected me until last night. I was at rehearsal and I made a comment about how we were losing an hour of sleep. And the piano guy looks at me and he goes, no. 11 becomes 10. We gain an hour of sleep. I've lived for almost a month thinking the opposite. I know better. And the wiring in my brain is busted. Stupid. I was like, oh, you know what? You're right. I've literally been mentally preparing myself for for the whole lose an hour of sleep thing. Like, am I going to go to bed early? But my grandparents are in town, so like I'm probably not going to go to bed early. The whole 9 yards. Worked it out in my head 500 billion times, and lo and behold, we actually just made a comment about this: anxiety over nothing. Anxiety over nothing, which is something both my husband and I are very, very good at. I was actually thinking we were losing sleep earlier today. I fall back. I don't know, for whatever reason. I was like, it's freaking it's lose an hour. I don't know. That's a lot of mentally preparing for 1 hour. Girl, do you know me? So this will be in the vlogs, and you all might have heard me talk about it on Instagram, but I'll tell you here too. Go a little bit in depth. Did you see the Instagram story about my worst nightmare? And how my worst nightmare, the reoccurring nightmare that I have is I'm in a show, musical theater. I'm in a show and I miss an entrance. And like, there's like, I know the missed entrance is coming. Like, I'm trying to change my costumes. I don't know where I am backstage. Like, I miss an entrance, I get on stage and I don't know my lines or my song, or I don't know the choreography and the blocking. I don't know where I'm supposed to stand. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my arms. Literally my recurring nightmare. It's not like all hell has broken loose, my family's dead, there's a bombing, we all get taken out by COVID. No. My recurring nightmare is that I forget something performance-wise. What triggers this? What triggers this? Sometimes it comes from nothing. It comes from nothing. Recently, it has been because I'm singing at church. Like I was talking about this with my facialist today. And because she used to have the same dreams when she was waiting tables. She would have nightmares about being unable to wait her tables, like she can't get to the tables for whatever reason, something like that. And so for me, it's triggered by my mental anxiety of not being good enough and not being prepared, which will never happen. I have never once been unprepared for a show. I have never once been unprepared for a concert. I am not only the person that knows her part, I am the person that could probably read you the entire script. I could play any role in a show that I'm in. I could do it. And it's just because I retain all of that. So seeing the rehearsals back over and over and over again, I like to watch the rehearsal process, even if it's for a role that I'm not playing, and I absorb it all. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And yet my nightmare is that I somehow fail and that I somehow don't know what I'm doing. So, all that to say, Rosie, the mental preparing is literally what I do. Like I need to feel so stinking confident in my ability to do something that before I don't have any anxiety about it. And like it's singing at church. I do fine every time because I know the parts, I know what I'm doing, and if I don't know what I'm doing, I can make it up. Like this is a gift that I have. I can do it. And lo and behold, I had the nightmare on Monday, Sunday to Monday or Monday to Tuesday. I can't remember. Hi, Kathy. And I go to rehearsal and recording session last night. And the one thing I knew the exact thing that was triggering this in me. One song is a hymn that I couldn't come up with a good harmony part for, and I had no vocal guidance. There was nothing to lead me. And I showed up. In fact, like I had something in my head. And so as I'm driving, I always rehearse while I'm driving. I play the 3 songs that we're singing, so I'm all prepared. I'm not worried about the fact that I have to open. Like, I'm the one introducing things this week. I have to read Psalm 139 this week. I lead the first number, and like, none of that bothers me. None of that. It's this one hymn that I'm not even leading that I can't find the perfect harmony part for. And so finally, you know what I did? I walked in, I looked at the guy, I'm like, Chris, let's talk about the second song for a minute. I can't come up with a good part for the verse, but I have a harmony for the chorus. Are you good if I just sing the harmony on the choruses? And he's like, I trust your judgment. You do whatever it is you need to do. Anxiety over nothing. Like literally, he's like, it's fine. Do what you want. No big. Why do I do this to myself? Why? So the hour thing is just like I needed to be mentally prepared for it because for me, energy is such a precious thing and sleep is such a precious thing. And so like automatically the losing an hour is like the worst thing ever, right? But losing an hour on a day that I have to be energized enough to perform, that I have to be on, is something that I genuinely get concerned about. It never is warranted. It's never warranted. I always, I am like, there's a couple, I didn't know that this was a thing, but actually, I think I did know this was a thing. In health, we're going to hop on the Enneagram train for a second. In health, I believe an Enneagram 9 can go to an Enneagram 3. When I am my happiest, when I am doing what truly was my God-given gift, being on stage, I go to an Enneagram 3. I can do it. I can do it well. And all of those things, right? So like for me, I could be exhausted. And odds are I can get up on that stage and do my job anyway. So what am I worried about? What Welcome to a day in the life of Brianna's head. It's super fun in here, guys. It's super fun. You're a 4-wing 3. Interesting. Interesting. I am a 9-wing 1. But the 9s, they're where they go in stress and where they go in health is when they go in stress, they go to a 6, which is really interesting because my husband is a 6. And I go to 6 in stress, which makes a lot of sense. And so what I know about the 6, which is a lot less than I know about the 9, but what I know about the 6 is their fear is rooted in security and things like that. So like it makes sense that that's where I go when I am stressed. So on my unhealthy, my stress is a 6, and my healthiest I go to like when I'm thriving, I go to a 3, which I think is like the perfectionist type person, the get it done, the goal getter, all of that. And that's where I go when I'm on stage. And I listened to a podcast about the people um, that wrote like the one big book on Enneagram, the one with the yellow gold cover. And there was an interview where a husband and wife couple was a 6 and a 9. And I was like, oh, I should listen to this because we're a 6 and a 9. And they're both performers, and both of them go to 3 when they are on stage. And I was like, that's really interesting that like that's the thing, especially for the 9, that's the thing that triggers the 3 is the thing that triggers the 3 is being on stage. So I thought that was really interesting, and I was like, wow, I think I do the exact same thing. Huh. It's just really fun to see all the inner workings of the whole thing. Unhealthy, I go to 2, and health, I go to 1. I could see that. I could see that. I don't know as much about a 2, which I should learn because apparently my mother and my 2 sisters are 2s. So apparently I'm the oddball that got the 9 out of the deal. But everybody else tested as a 2. So I don't know. But I don't know enough about the 2. They're not the peacekeeper. I'm the peacekeeper. The loyalist, is that what they are? I can't remember. But I'm a 4. I'm not sure about wings. I think I might be a 4-wing 5. Yeah, I could probably. I think it'd be less likely that you were a wing 3. Some of my favorite moments on Broadway are when an actor screws up an ad lib. It's really great for theater for sure, and not being mean. Some are just hilarious, memorable moments. Oh my gosh, have I ever told you guys about the biggest blip we've ever done? I've ever done on stage? Helper. Maybe that's it. Yes, Helper, Marie. That's the one. Did I tell you guys about when I was in Urinetown? This was the biggest character break I have ever been a part of, and it was hysterical. Hysterical. Yes, I've seen your message, Lindsay. And so we're in Urinetown, and we're having like this big, like, for those of you who don't know, Urinetown, like urine, pee, Urinetown. Hilarious show. Don't knock it until you see it. It's hilarious. One of my favorite roles that I have ever played was playing this brutally mean character, one of the rebels, one of the like supporting roles. Has a song with a partner and everything, and super fun, super fun. It was the role that I got to wear braces in, or I wore fake braces, but like the only role that I've had in my life that I didn't have to I didn't feel like I had to hide my disability because it's literally written into the role. So like one of my favorite roles of all time. And I had a crutch and everything. Like it was so fun. It was so fun. Anyway, we're having like this big moment with all of us core rebel poor characters. That's what we're called, the rebel poor. And my partner, Hot Blades Harry, instead of him having daggers, blades, we decided that his blades were rollerblades. So he spends the entire show rollerblading. And there were a couple other great improv moments in the show because we actually, some of the Rebel Poor would get on stage before the show even started. So like half an hour before the show started, maybe 15 minutes for us. Half an hour, a couple of the ensemble would get up there and like lay on stage and like be there when the doors open. And then about 15 minutes before curtain, some of us would come on stage and we would improvise. So every night I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I would take a bite out of it. I put it in a bag and I beat it to crap and I threw it in the onstage trash can. And in the middle of us hanging out on stage, like we'd play cards, we'd do stuff like that. I would hobble over to the garbage can, and I would reach in and I would grab the sandwich and I would start to eat it. And it was so funny to hear the people that were filing in or whatever, see if they were paying attention to the fact that I just ate a peanut butter sandwich out of a garbage can. So we would do funny improv stuff like that. That was so fun. Once I shoved a banana in my partner's mouth after I had fallen on the floor. Um, hilarious, hilarious. Because he went to go eat his banana, and I'm hobbling over to him, and it falls on the floor. And without even a beat, I look at the banana, I look at him, I dramatically pick it up, and I just before he even has a chance to get away, I shove it in his face. So funny. But this moment was like in the middle of the show, in the height of one of the scenes. And Hot Blades Harry has a line and he glides across the stage and he gets his wheel caught in one of his leg warmers and completely wipes out. Completely wipes out. And out of nowhere, he also says a line like, "Oh, you really threw me for a loop there." Uh, I almost said Tommy. Tommy was the actor's name. Bobby or whatever. And just like the whole moment was like, for a second, we sat there like, what did we do? And then the audience started laughing. And then we couldn't help it. And we just, all of us lost it. All of us lost it. And so like we're trying to stay in character. And so like I'm trying to be real angry and whatever, but like we're also all very obviously stifling laughter. And after about 60 seconds of this just the audience is roaring, we've lost it or whatever. We finally like I pull myself together and a couple of the rest of us, and we all kind of look at the audience like a really creepy manner, totally breaking the fourth wall. And I literally just sit there and I give them a dirty look and I'm like, shh, like I shush the entire audience and we take a breath and continued on our merry way. It was just like, oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was so fun. It was I definitely like I don't do the story justice. You had to be there, but it's so funny. So yes, Susan, all that to say, Susan, you're absolutely right. Some of the improvised moments are hilarious. They're absolutely hilarious. But I think there's a difference between improv because a blip happens, something happens, and deliberate unpreparedness. And my nightmare is unpreparedness. It's always some underlying fear of like, for whatever reason, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. And I always know where I'm supposed to be type of thing. You know, like wardrobe mishaps happen and you're 2 seconds late for your entrance or whatever. Because if you've never been in a show before, you don't know how ridiculously well timed you become. By the time the show goes up, you have a routine where you know the exact line that you are standing in this exact place backstage and all of that. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. Um that would have been so fun to see. Oh my gosh. It was hilarious. And the worst part of it is this was a director who would not record our shows. So I have no recording of one of my favorite roles of all time. It was so fun. Such a fun show. Oh my gosh. Um, are you an accountability coach too? Audrey, absolutely. Accountability is one of the primary reasons you hire a coach is to have that extra accountability, to have that person to answer to. It is 100% the reason that I hired my coach and will hire my coach again for my fat loss phase. I know what to do. I'm a macro coach. I can calculate my own macros. I know exactly what, like, I can tell you, I'll be surprised to see if my coach changes things. But by the book, I know what my cut macros are going to be. Like, I know what to do. It's the accountability that is the reason that I have the coach. Because I need somebody to check in on me. I need somebody to answer to. And for a lot of people, that's what they need me for the most is to give them guidance and stuff, sure. But I will check in with people and be like, so have you done this? So have you done this? I actually have a client who I have a reminder set on my phone to check in with her every single day. And I don't check in with her every single day, but she doesn't know what days I'm going to check in on her. Like literally pick up my phone and text her. She never knows when it's coming. So if she's doing everything she's supposed to be doing, she will be ready whenever it is I decide to go, hey, did you do this today? Accountability, man. So Alyssa, the big difference between 4 wing 5 and 4 wing 3 is wing 5 is double withdrawn and run by their emotion. Wing 3 is assertive and competitive. Amberly, it sounds like you know more about this than I do. I need to get into the Enneagram studies. I want to understand like all of the things. I want to understand all of the things about the Enneagram because I've found it so wildly accurate for so many people that it's one of those things that like really helps me understand. It's like the four tendencies. The four tendencies really help me understand. That's fair, Amberly. Um, the four tendencies really helps me understand other people. If I know what their tendency is, I understand how to best communicate, especially when it comes to habits and mindset stuff. If I know their tendency. And so for me, figuring out that my husband was a questioner was a big deal because it went from me having to nag him about things over and over and over again to all I had to do was explain why I wanted something some particular way. And when he went, "Oh, that makes sense," I never would have to nag him about something ever again. Like it's the silliest thing, but that's how not saying the question for me as an obliger, like if I was told that something should be some way, I just do it because somebody's holding me to that expectation. But for him, it was that it was about this. I would always set something underneath our sink in our kitchen. We have dishwasher tabs, and I would set something on top of the dishwasher tabs, and my husband would keep moving that bottle behind the dishwasher tabs, and then I would keep moving it back whenever I needed the thing. And finally, he looked at me. He's like, "Why do you keep putting something on top of the dishwasher tabs?" And I'm like, "Because if I put the bottle in the back, I can't reach it, and it is really inconvenient for me to get to." And because his inconvenience was if I take I have to remove the bottle to get to the dishwasher tabs and put the bottle back. Whereas why wouldn't I just put it in the back? For me, it's more inconvenient to have to really bend down or get down on the ground and reach when I can't fully extend my arms behind the dishwasher tabs. For me, it's easier to go boop, get what I want, and put the thing back. Once I told him that, he left it alone and never moved it again. But he needed a good reason as to why. Um, which is why I love understanding people's tendencies. And I want to get to a point where I understand the Enneagram enough to be able to say, if someone tells me there are four, I understand the basics of what that means and the implications it means for that individual. That is my goal. Like, I'm not going to be an expert in all of them, but I would really love to have a basic enough understanding of that. Um, I'm always fascinated by the different Enneagram posts on IG, especially the 9. I posted one today of things you said, and they're exact quotes of all things you said. Yeah, I am a textbook Enneagram 9. I'm absolutely textbook. There's a new book coming out next month by the author podcast host called The Story of You, an Enneagram. Oh, what? I need this book. And I need to write that down so I don't forget the title. Which author is that? The one who did like the original book? Whatever that one was called, I can't remember. Story of You, an Enneagram Journey. The Story of You. I love it. An Enneagram Journey to Becoming Your True Self. I love it. Thank you for that, Jessica. True Self. Ian Morgan Cron. Awesome. There are also subtypes: self-preservation, social, and sexual. Interesting. Very interesting. I definitely don't relate to any of those for 4 as much. I'm a textbook. I'm absolutely textbook. It's ridiculous. But it also is very helpful to understand myself. How do we find out what Enneagram we are? There are a couple of free tests. You can go to yourenneagramcoach.com, I think it's what it's called, or the Enneagram Institute. There are free tests on both of those, and you take the test, answer as honestly as you possibly can. And it's really fascinating stuff. Really fascinating. And like I knew, like I understood that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm probably a 9. And then when we did my husband's test and we found out that he is a 6 wing 5, and like reading the 6, I'm like, yeah, this could definitely be you. And then we found like the 6 wing 5 information, and when I read that out loud to him, he was like, oh my gosh, like you could have slapped his picture on it. And then, so after he like bought into it and was like, oh, okay, this actually does describe who I am. Um, he's like, well, read yours. I want to hear yours. So we went to mine and read about me again. And this was after I hadn't like taken the deep dive for a while. And he found it informational, and I did too. I was like, wow, I really am an Enneagram 9, like through and through. Lissa, you're probably the subtype that manifests differently than normal. I think in fours, it's the social subtype. I've taken tons of tests. I have a screenshot of my time hop that showed one test I scored 98, 4, and 98% 9. I'm also textbook 9, and I don't like to perform with lecture teaching, but I find my wing 1 makes me less tolerant of mistakes with my co-teacher. Did I know that you were a 9? I love that. I feel like as soon as someone tells me they're a 9, I'm like, I relate to you even more because I understand. I understand. And for me, one of the things I learned, I was reading this book. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Let me look it up. It's on my Kindle. There is a book for every type. There's a book for every number. Kindle is here. And the one on Kindle for me happened to be on sale for like $3. 40 days on being a 9. And so there's one for 40 days of being a whatever. And the first day I read it, and I was like, holy crap. Let me see. Where's day 1? It talks about on being a 9. Here we go. So the sin of the Enneagram 9 is slothfulness, which for me, like I procrastinate. I like often am like, am I lazy or am I tired? Like, which is it? Like, I'm always at this constant battle with wanting to do things or wanting to do nothing. That is literally my constant struggle. And here's what I highlighted from day 1 of this book. One way we give in to slothfulness is by avoiding disappointment in that which limits us. It is pretending to be unaffected or wanting to be unaffected, or willing ourselves to be unaffected by not acknowledging the negative effects on us. Indeed, we might not even be aware of what it is that we are feeling or affected by. It is a self-forgetfulness of the unholy kind, avoiding ourselves. It is stubbornly refusing to come to terms with how we are being affected and limited. It is a penchant for avoiding conflict or hard things. It's a proclivity to be asleep at the wheel of life instead of being awake. It is the proclivity to live half-heartedly, to give half-hearted attention to what is going on in us. Dealing with the messiness, the hard, and the sad takes too much energy. It is our unhealthy coping mechanism. As a result, we can have a hard time figuring out what we feel. What? The beautiful thing about Enneagram 9s is we will make beautiful contributions to the world, and we will bring great value, but we will be healthier when we face ourselves and figure out, maybe with the help of trusted others, what we have been avoiding, escaping, and trying to be unaffected by. Called out on day 1 by this book. Like yeah. So I'm a 9. Which is actually fits with what my friend told me. I had a friend ask me about it because she was studying with the church. She guessed I was a 4 with 9 tendencies. And this is someone who knows me in the real world, not someone who knows the test scores. I'm often accused of being a Pollyanna because I don't like to look for trouble and I have a positive outlook. Girl, yes. I'm a sucker for a little bit of drama as long as it doesn't directly involve me. But that's the theater diva in me. But I always have a positive outlook, sometimes to my detriment. But also the big thing about Enneagram 9s is they start to go negative, they start to go unhealthy if their comfort level is threatened. And so with the stuff I have going on right now and whatever, like, and anything like travel is coming and all sorts of like, there's some unsure things happening. And my comfort, my routine is being threatened. And my direct result, my instinct is to get angry about it. That is like that's the thing that nines get possessive and almost angry over is if you start to mess with their comfort because their sin is sloth. They want to be comfortable always. Um, and messing with my routine and messing with my normal and my comfort will get to me. And that's what causes me anxiety. One of the many things that causes me anxiety. But I was journaling about this the other day. This is kind of changing the subject, but not really. But like I can't figure out where my anxiety came from. I was never this anxious in like college. Like where did my anxiety come from? I don't know. But like I am such everything causes me some level of anxiety now, and that never used to be the case in my 20s. Never. What is that about? I just I don't even know. Morning pages, they are very helpful. They can get you to be pretty insightful. I also had a holy crap, I'm turning 35 in a week. And like, is that half of my life? I don't know. Am I living on the sidelines of my life? Is, like the not quite a midlife crisis, but kind of a awakening, if you will, of like, oh my gosh, I'm turning 35. Like, that's not young. We it's not young. So much so it's not young. We were talking, my facialist and I were talking about having kids because I made a comment about um, choosing not to have kids. And she's like, oh, I always thought you just couldn't have them. And I'm like, no, we made that choice or whatever. And so we told her, I'm like, we took the more permanent measures on my husband's behalf to make sure that didn't happen. But like, if one we are of the if the good Lord wills it and one of those boys gets through and I end up pregnant, fine, we're becoming parents. And she says, um, she looks at me and goes, you realize that if you get pregnant at 35, it's a geriatric pregnancy. I was like, holy crap, I'm geriatric pregnancy old. So I've been having a lot of feelings lately. Just a lot of feelings, y'all. So if you stick with me through all of the feelings, thank you. Oh my gosh. Um I consider myself very reliable, but perhaps that's also being inflexible. You're very reliable, Jessica, probably because you don't want to let other people down. You're a peacekeeper. Your purpose in life is to not like to our detriment is to keep the peace. And so you will let people do what do you want for dinner? It's literally like my husband asks me, "What can I do to make you happy?" And my genuine answer is I don't know. And at the core of it, it is because I don't want to even suggest something that could be of a discomfort or something to him. Like to my own like where do you want to go for dinner? I don't care. I'm less picky than you. You pick where we go. Like I don't want to ruffle his feathers at all. And it's not just like, oh, I'm trying to be wifey. No, it's literally ingrained in my Enneagram wiring. Like learning about this is giving an explanation for why I never know what I want. I can never verbalize exactly what I want. Like if I have a solid answer, I will say it, but it's rare that I genuinely have an opinion about it. What can I do to make you happy? I mean, you already did the dishes for me and that made me happy, so thank you. Like literally that's what happens in my head. It's awful. People aren't always anxious. I have legitimate memories of early signs of anxiety attacks when I was like 8. I don't think I was anxious as a kid. I have to ask my mom. When I see my mom next week, I'm gonna have to ask her, like, did I have anxiety as a child? Because I don't think I did. I advocated for myself like a champion, like at a very, very young age, and was always able to say what I needed and what I couldn't do. And like I don't remember having these anxieties. I always have a little bit of performance anxiety, but that is the perfectionist in me. So like the stage thing, that's always been normal. That I'm not surprised that that's my recurring nightmare. Because I have a desire to do well when I perform because it's what I love. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you're not good at the thing you love. So like there's always a little bit of like stage butterflies. And I've actually been told that like if you're getting ready to perform and you don't have at least a little bit of excited butterflies, you've grown complacent and it's a problem. Like you need to have a little bit of that, like but, like, when did my actual anxiety trigger? Because everything makes me anxious. Michaela, Hot was I totally forgot that was you, Michaela. I saw Hot Wasabi and I was like, "I haven't seen that person in a long time," and then it oh, right, right. Um, your expectations of life have changed since college. Anxiety tends to live between what is and what you expect. Yeah, and that's a good way to think of it. My life is nothing like I thought it would be after college, to be completely honest with you. Um, but also when I think about like, let's say hypothetically, like we move to New York. My husband gets a job, moves to New York. Literally, when I was a freshman in college, I was convinced that I was going to move to New York and pound the pavement and do the Broadway thing. What if, like, if we moved there now, would I do that? Should I do that? How much anxiety would that give me? Literally, the dream I had when I was 18 years old. Now, like, oh man, oh man. Oh, I hate that term. I work with pregnant women and that drives me crazy. I know. I'm like, I'm 35. I'm not dead. But it was just like, that's the age I am now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is my life over? Oh my, so I don't know. So like I had a little bit of a midlife crisis moment in my journal yesterday. Was that maybe Monday? Can't remember. I've had the where the heck do my anxieties come from moment in my journal. Like morning pages has been serving me well, y'all. Once our brains solidify, it makes it harder to be adaptable. Yeah, that's true. So if our brains don't solidify until 25, and I had all these big lofty dreams at 18, and even like right post college, and then by the time if our brains solidify at 25, how old was I when I started talking to my husband? I don't know, man. It's just crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Um, I always get anxiety just before we go on stage, and as the band plays the national anthem. Yeah, yeah. And a little bit of butterflies is pretty good. Also, it's really late by you, Audrey. Thanks for hanging out. Wow. You're not usually at the nighttime lives. I finally started pursuing the dream that I had when I was 17, 18 after just missing for years. Yeah, and I mean, and that's great. And that's like, it's one of those things that I'm like, would I really do that? Like, and like the reality is like, I would have nothing to lose. Like, let's say we end up moving to New York or a suburb of New York or something. There'd literally be no reason for me to not try. I don't need to make ends meet to do it. Like, I don't have to go and, like, find the waitressing job, find the what like, I could literally keep an eye out on auditions, get my headshots done, and do it. But, oh my gosh, like, just thinking about it, it's like, "What?" 4 of my children are under 25, and when they make questionable choices, I tell myself their brain isn't fully formed. That's a good point. That's you know? That tracks. That tracks hardcore. And I mean, I never thought about it, but, like, I think most of the questionable decisions have been done like, I'm thinking of people close to me, before 25, I think, actually, or closely thereafter. Um, Under 25 consequences don't affect us the same way. That's interesting. So, I got my so my basically you're saying that my anxiety triggered after age 25, which is like that's right, but like wow. Wow. Marie, I have and then COVID. I a handful of months ago I went and looked at audition notices just for fun. And depending on what the future holds after we come back from holiday travel and everything, I will consider pursuing them. Thankfully, I get my kicks, if you will, singing on worship team. Like I came home last night tired, but I had 12,000 steps yesterday. I wore my braces last night to recording because I kept tripping over myself and all that. But like last night I felt like we had a whole very humbling exercise, all of our prayers, because like what I love about this worship team, like very rooted in God first. Like we had moments of like praying beforehand, and one of the guys read like this prayer that was a call and response, and it was basically to say like we pray that we are basically like superbly humbled and remember that it's not about us. Don't glorify us. Don't do, and like we had this very humble, humility focused prayer, which was great. And that's something that I definitely need. But also at the same time, when I'm up there and doing my thing, like I felt like a rock star because I knew what I was doing. And like, this is my jam. And it was just so soul filling. And it's even more soul filling for me because we're doing it all to glorify God. Like, amazing. Like I could ask for nothing more. So at the very least, I'm doing this, which feels really, really good. And if I could do nothing, if I it for any amount of time, I would rather be doing um I'd rather be doing worship team because that has like, don't get me wrong, theater has a purpose too, but like that has a higher purpose for many more people. So I'm doing something with it. Do I wish I could plug into the theater scene here? Yes, like that was one of the selling points of moving here. Everyone was like, "Don't worry, the theater scene is hot in Minneapolis. You will find something to do." And I have no doubt I would, but mm, y'all, living your passion will not give you anxiety. I think you would thrive. You love theater. It's true. It's true. So here's the interesting thing, and here's the mindset problem. When you're in theater, you very quickly become used to rejection. You have to. You have to develop a thick skin. And there was one audition that I went to. Oh gosh, what show was it? I don't even remember what show it was, but I went to a show and I auditioned for one of the lead roles, right? And I showed up and like I always dress up nice for shows. And like if I can do like an ode to hint hint, um, like for the role, like if I was auditioning for Alpha Bud, probably wear something green. But I showed up and I was in this waiting room with 8 or 9 other women. I think it was an audition for was it cabaret or did I sing cabaret? It was something like that. I was in a room with 8 or 9 other beautiful women, all of whom could sing. All of whom could sing. And just in looking around at that, I'm like, I'm literally at a cattle call. Like that, and that's what auditioning is for. Like that's what it is. And the harsher reality is in theater, in acting, what you look like matters. And for me, one of my biggest um, self-esteem hitters, right? Self-confidence annihilators is how I look when I move. And it shouldn't be. Like I literally the day, does anybody remember the day that Ali Stoker won the Tony Award? I think it was 2 years ago. She's wheelchair bound. She's a wheelchair bound woman and won a Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Musical. I cried the day she won the Tony Award because it was the first step for disability on Broadway. Like it was a big step. And I know they did a deaf production of Spring Awakening as well, which was a big deal. But like that was a big step for physical disabilities that impact your movement. And so like for me, like that's always been a thing. Call it a limiting belief. Maybe my biggest problem is that I let it get to me. But like the reality is, if somebody with my skill and like everything, if everything was the same, but this other person could dance better, the other person's going to get cast. Very rarely. I've had a couple of exceptions. Urinetown was one of the roles I walked into the audition room and I walked out with the part, which was one of the greatest days of my life, to be completely honest, because that's never happened to me before. I literally walked in, I sang my tail off. I auditioned for the role I knew I wanted, which was this disabled role. She's a belter, and she's not a lead, she's a supporting actress, but big, big part. On stage the entirety of Act Two, a lot of Act One, like stellar role. I walked in, I sang the perfect song to audition for this part. And the director, I remember this like it was yesterday. She looked at me and she was like, "Can you do that again?" I did the same thing. I nailed it or whatever. And she's like, she looks at me for a second, looks at my paper, looks at me, and she goes, Would you be offended if I cast you as somebody with a physical disability? And I look at her and I go, look at the role I requested on the audition form. And she looks down and she looks back at me and she goes, come to callbacks on a technicality. I'm like, okay. I literally got the role in the audition room because of my disability. And that was the exception, not the rule. But that was one of my favorite shows, like I said, that I've ever done because I didn't have to hide it. And on the contrary, it was part of the role that I was in. And then the only other time that I was shocked at how something was cast is I auditioned for 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, another great show for people who haven't seen it. Hilarious. And I went in and auditioned for like there's no real lead in that show, but there's a couple roles that are slightly larger than the other ones. I went in auditioning for one of like the goofier ones because again, my physicality could play to something like that. It could play into that. And I'll never forget, I went to the audition. I went to the callback, and it was fun. It was in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which was fun because I auditioned mostly with people that I went to school with. So it was like bringing all the Carthage people to community theater, which was super fun. And we all got cast too. But I'll never forget the phone call because I got the phone call, and the director goes, "So we would like to cast you as Olive." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" Olive's the lead role. That's not the role I auditioned for. Never in my life have I gotten a role higher up in the ranks than the one I actually auditioned for. Ever. Ever. And he's like, "Yeah, I think that you are exactly what we need for this role." And it was great. It was perfect. And again, my physicality was not an issue. And I have worked with several people in my life who have promised me, and this is of course all community theater, it's not professional theater, it's professional grade in performance, but it's not actually like you're paid to do this Actors Equity Association theater. So like I have certain people, like I have had a director, there are two directors in this world that I know if I walked into their audition room I would get cast in the show. I know without a shadow of a doubt that I would be cast. They would find a place for me. But that's the exception. Um, and one of them was Pippin. So the person who did Urinetown is the person who did Rent, is the person who did Pippin. And those are three of the last shows that I was in. Maybe not Urinetown, but I worked with this woman multiple times and I will work with her again. And I got cast with one of my friends who I've been in many shows with. He was a choreographer for a Beauty and the Beast show. And I auditioned simply because I knew the choreographer and I knew that he loved me. He was also my real estate lawyer. So a man who wears many hats. And so I auditioned for him. And like he was in the audition room and he was teaching the thing. And I'm like, afterwards I made a comment. It was like, well, I'm sorry I couldn't do the one move or whatever. And he's like, you did fine. I'm like, yeah, but he's like, you did fine. And like that was great too, because I'm like, oh, I love being able to walk in and confidently be like, this choreographer knows what I'm capable of and knows my limitations, and that's great. But ultimately, all of that to say, life in the professional theater world is much more intimidating. Much more intimidating. Um, it's not too late as our change here last weekend. Oh, um, dumbest thing I ever did was when I was 22. There you go. It often starts to ramp up. Think about it if you aren't wired to care about consequences as a kid, meaning that you have a support system to pick you up when you fall so it doesn't hurt as bad. Why would you have anxiety? It's a good point. Kids who don't have safety nets and don't have stable families and all of that, of course, they will be wired for anxiety young. Interesting. Interesting. According to a post on your IG last year, this month will be 10 years since Eric asked you to be his girlfriend. So shortly after you turned 25. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. That timing is fascinating. I did community theater as a teen. Now lecturing, teaching scratches that same performance itch. Yeah. But at 25, you were on your own and consequences were yours alone. I also think constant access to current events and global events because of technology has opened the doors for more anxiety. Michaela, that is the truth. As I was talking, like what has changed in the last 10 years for me? This. Social media and constant access to people's opinions, be they positive or negative, and all of that, like literally probably is the cause of half of my anxiety is the social media. But it's also sucks because like I can't actually do the thing of like, let me just get off social media because my business is literally tied to social media. Super fun. But that's that and the news, the constant influx of news from different biased sources as well as the central sources. Like you don't know what's true, you don't know what's not, and it's just all coming at you. And like I had to stop looking at the news when like the election was happening and COVID was in its height and all I had to stop looking at the news. Like I made it a choice to not click on any articles posted on Facebook, not because it was bad for my anxiety. It was bad. But global events don't actually affect you emotionally unless you think about the potential consequences of that. So people don't think it through and won't get anxiety from it. Yeah. So I think global events can be part of why it hits harder as you get older because you care more. I would agree with that. Definitely. Consequences for you or others. I should clarify that. I think current events are very anxiety inducing for empathetic people. Even if you don't realize it, your mind can be soaking up the negative energy. That's what I learned in therapy anyway. I believe that. I definitely soak up the negative energy from stuff happening around me. I started performing in community theater when I was 13. I was such a shy kid. My sister was 7 years older than me and was involved in theater, and she made me audition to get over my shyness. I loved it. That's a great way to do it. I'm hoping that my sister encourages Alice to get involved in theater as well, in music and everything, because it 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 is wonderful. It's wonderful. A lot of my friends that I still have, like people that I haven't talked to in a long time, but like if you call them, they will come. If you say, "Hey, you're in town reunion on this date, if you're in town," they will come and it would be a great time. We've done that before, actually. We have 100% done that. And we actually did I brought my husband to this and he was kind of surprised at the relationships and everything that were in the room because we had an event at the college where I did a lot of those shows. And some people were in it or whatever, but it was an opportunity for all of the people around. They wanted to support the director that was doing it. It was to honor the director. And we all loved her. So people who were in all of her shows for the last decade and a half or even longer showed up to this event. So, and Eric came with me because I was so excited about it. And it was so fun to walk into the room and not know all the people, but like you were family with the other people, the people you do a show with your family. So it is a great way to get involved and develop relationships and put yourself out there and do all sorts of crazy stuff. Have pizza and karaoke nights every Thursday after rehearsal. It's good stuff. I highly recommend. 10 out of 10 would recommend community theater to anybody. The kids who don't have safety net, stable families, that explains so much. The chat is just proving why there are companies like Soul CBD. Y'all, Soul CBD is releasing some really cool stuff in September. November. Rewind. Soul CBD is releasing some very cool stuff in November, the month we are in. I recently purchased with my own money their the new Sleepy Gummies. Love them. There's magic in those. I take the dream capsules. I sleep better on those gummies than I do on the capsules. And they're releasing 2 new capsules, one called Happy. They all end in I. Sleepy, Sleepi. Happy, which is for mood, and Harmony, which is for PMS. Super jazzed about all of those. And a new flavor of oil. That's the newsletter that I got as an ambassador just today. And I'm super pumped. And y'all, get ready for the Black Friday sale. That's all I'm going to say. I used to do summer music camp at church. We'd put on musical in a week. I kind of miss that. Love it. Love it. I know a lot of people that have done that, like theater intensive, start one week and by the end of the week, you're doing a show. In January, I'm going to be doing choreography and singing assistance for my former high school's musical. Oh, how fun. Even though I won't be performing, I love being part of a show. I agree. There was one show where I conducted. There was one show that I did tech. I broke my ankle. And so I didn't audition for anything, but they wanted tech people. So I got thrown into doing tech. which was fun. I'd never done it before, and it was a lot of fun. And it's just always fun to be involved. I've directed some children's theater stuff, which isn't quite as satisfying on the relational level, but I also have the proud mommy moments when I do kid stuff. It was the same with my students. In Rent, one of my students got cast as Mark. So, and he was also a friend of mine first, and then he was my guinea pig student, and so he took lessons from me from the very beginning, and we worked real hard, and then we both auditioned for Rent together, and he got cast as Mark, and I was so proud of him, and watching the whole process, and like I got to teach him how to like I got to fine tune his singing of the songs and everything, and every night I would sit backstage and listen to the duet. If you guys know Rent, What You Own is one of my favorite Broadway songs of all time. I would sit backstage every night and listen to him sing, and just my heart would swell like he was my own child. Like, oh my gosh. So even being like a teacher or a director or something is also a very positive experience. Um, the one year I decided to go for a speaking role, I didn't get one. I would cry after every show was over. I spent months in rehearsal, and post-show blues are real. They are absolutely real. And it is the worst thing to like tear down your set and know you probably won't be in the room with this exact same group of people ever again. It is hard. It is hard. It's worth it, but it sucks. Like the post-show blues are brutal. They're brutal. I haven't had that experience in 5 years, y'all. Last time I was in a show was Pippin, and I turned 30 during the run of the show. Um, I was already planning on doing a major order for Black Friday. Might as well stock up, but something for PMS, I need that. Yeah. I haven't tried it. I actually emailed them. I'm like, is there an opportunity for me to try it? Because I would really love to. If not, I plan on buying them because I was so wowed by this silly sleepy gummy that I did not expect to like any more than the pills, but I decided to try it anyway. Those nights that I took it, I didn't take it last night, and I didn't take it last night. And I woke up in the middle of the night when Eric got out of bed to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't fall back asleep. Interesting. Um, the one flaw in the gummy is if I forget to take it before I brush my teeth, once I brush my teeth, I won't eat it. Because I'm like, then I'll have to brush my teeth again. That's why I didn't take it last night. Ended up on the phone for the last 45 and came back to the same topic. Impressive. It has been a theater discussion tonight. I don't even know, but like all the lessons are relevant, I think. Is there something specific y'all want to talk about? Because you're humoring me very, very well with the theater discussion, and I appreciate that. I could talk about theater all day. It is my soul's passion is singing in theater. Kim, hi. But if y'all want to talk about something else, ask me some questions. Feel free to do so. I just got my free capsule starter pack today. I'm really curious how Erect to chill. I have a client who really liked to chill. Post-show blues are so hard. I love the after-show party, though. Oh, theater kids can party hard. Yes, and theater adults can party even harder. I haven't been on stage since 2005. 50 milligram dream caps are amazing. Yes. Yes. What are you watching now that Squid Games is over? Squid Games. Oh. What are we watching? We're working our way through the DC stuff still. So we finished Arrow. We finished that. We're working on finishing up Batwoman so we can turn off HBO. And Batwoman is the only one of this series that's on HBO. Everything else is on Netflix. I started The Crown and I haven't been continuing it. My guilty pleasure show has been The Circle. But we have not watched much TV. And welcome. Good to see you. Glad you can make it. So like we watch maybe an episode of TV a night, and it's usually DC shows. Yep. And when I'm downstairs working out, it's been The Circle because that is the thing that I can lift weights to and kind of like half pay attention and half pay attention to my workout. I haven't turned on The Crown in like 2 weeks. Yeah. One show that I want to watch is The Kaminsky Method. My grandparents actually turned us on to that show. He's like, "Oh, have you seen this? You need to watch it." And turned on the first episode. It's starring Michael Douglas and the actress who was in Last Man Standing as the mom. Really enjoy her. And we've watched like 3 episodes while we were at my grandparents' house. Whenever the last time we were there for an extended period of time, which might have been Thanksgiving last year. No, yeah. And this past weekend we watched Hocus Pocus. We watched um we watched Evil Dead. Evil Dead. Um Holy moly, was that a hilariously bad film. But it has like a cult following and like several sequels and video games and all this stuff. We laughed and we laughed and we laughed. And then we watched the horror movie Freaky, which is like it's Freaky Friday meets horror film. It was actually pretty funny and pretty well done. Vince Vaughn stars in it. So that's what we did this. I'm like, why didn't we watch much TV this weekend? We did. It was just in the form of movies. Um, yeah. So Halloween, sticking to the theme. My family's gonna make Dalgonia. Oh, nice. Nice. Are you gonna play the game? Or like you're gonna try to etch out the patterns? Only reason I'm nervous about chills is it has ashwagandha, and that's what caught a weird allergic reaction, itching thing that I had to go on steroids for. Mm, so maybe take one with caution and have Benadryl standing by just in case, and you'll know. I don't know. The after show party goes on for a few days, and another big party, and we might all get together and watch the show recording. Nice. A few days. Ours would go into the wee hours of the morning, but a few days, that's impressive. Love the Kaminsky method. Yes, yes. Um, wasn't the original Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell? Yes. No, the original. We watched the 1984, 81, 84 movie. Oh, Gremlins. That's the other movie we watched. We watched Gremlins. Because my husband had never seen it, and I keep talking about Gizmo. I swear, if I ever have a male dog, I'm gonna name him Gizmo. And so he finally is like, "Well, it's on HBO. We should watch it." And so we watched Gremlins. I forgot that it was a Christmas movie, not a Halloween movie. I forgot most of the details, but he did go, "Man, Gizmo's really cute." I'm like, "I know. That's why I wanted Gizmo." um, but yeah, it was the original Evil Dead. Yeah. Macy's just asked us to submit ball gowns for a Bridgerton theme advertisement. That is very on trend. I have not watched Bridgerton. I don't know much about it. I should probably add that to my list. I figured out how to have my MacBook change screen color so that at night it isn't blue light. I'm pretty happy about it. Yes, yes. Do I have my Mac set up to do that? My Mac does this weird thing. It's an auto adjust based on the lighting. So if I'm paying attention, I will see like it shift tones a little bit if the lighting changes. It's very strange. What is the Kaminsky method? The Kaminsky method is a TV show on Netflix. So it is about an acting teacher, and he's played by Michael Douglas, and it was hilarious. I've only seen 3 episodes, but it's hilarious. Like, will 100% sit down and watch the whole show. It's got some solid actors in it. Really enjoying the plot thus far. It's super cute. It's really cute. That's what I'm going to do. I'll take it as needed and see how I do. Could be a brand or dosage thing. Yep. I've heard some people basically take it as a replacement for Xanax. What, the chill pill or ashwagandha? Ugh, Gizmo. My cousin has a yappy dog, rat-like dog called Gizmo. Yeah, he's super cute though. And if we got like, especially, I'm like, if we got a boy Yorkie, we could name him Gizmo, and we would have Gracie and Gizmo. Yeah, I've gone there because alliteration. Um, Okay, I have it on timer now, 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's a very caramel color. My phone does that. I have my phone set up to do that. So if I'm editing pictures late at night, which doesn't happen often, but like if I take a picture, I'm like, what does this actually look like? I have to go in and turn off the blue light filter so I can see what it actually is supposed to look like and make sure it's bright enough and the color's right and everything. Chill, which is why I'd love to be able to take it, even if it's just occasionally. Interesting. That is one of them that I have not tried. I haven't tried that. I have the immunity pills, which are great. They're just a bunch of different vitamins with some CBD thrown in there. So I will take those if I'm going to go and be exposed to people. Um, and and the sleep ones. I have the sleep capsules, and then I have the oil. I love the oil. That is what I did. That's what saved me. Pro tip. Pro tip, my CBD users, especially for those that suffer from insomnia. And Amberly, you might have given me this tip, and I want to credit you appropriately if you're the one who came up with this, or if I came up with it myself. I don't know. Keep the bottle of CBD on your nightstand, and if you wake up in the middle of the night and you go, I can't fall back, put some CBD oil under your tongue. I literally was tossing and turning. I was so mad. I looked at my husband this morning. I'm like, if you're gonna wake me up, can you do it at like 5:30 in the morning, where like I could look at the clock and go, screw it, I'm just gonna get out of bed. But like 4:30 is just early enough where I'm like, no, not doing that. So I was tossing and turning and listening to him toss and turn and all that stuff. I'm like getting angry at the fact that I was awake. And so finally I was like, screw it. And I put my glasses on and I'm like, I know I have my bottle of 1500 around here somewhere. Found the bottle, put a quarter of a dropper under my tongue, like not a full dose or anything, but it was the strong bottle, and waited. And I'll be darned if minutes later I didn't start to doze. I'm like, man, it just, and like get my brain into like the foggy zone to get me back to falling asleep. 10 out of 10 would recommend that suggestion. Yes, it was you. Thank you, Amberly, because I am now going to forever keep the CBD oil on my nightstand for if I wake up in the middle of the night, because that is the only reason I fell back asleep last night. That's the only reason. I could feel it work. It was the weirdest thing, because many days I don't notice the CBD working, but because there was nothing else for me to pay attention to, I literally felt my brain shift. It was so weird. I just looked up Chill. There's several products in it with that name. What is the one you're talking about? So the one she's talking about are the capsules. So if you go to the capsule area, what am I looking for? My Soul CBD. Oh, and fun fact about Soul CBD, y'all. So first of all, I have a discount code. Use code DIVA always, because that gets you 15% off. But if you're a Rakuten user, what used to be Ebates, order on your computer and use the Rakuten Ebate as well. Rakuten Ebate. Yeah, just under the capsules, you go to the Chill CBD capsules. That's what you want. Because I can't take the dream caps with melatonin in the middle of the night. Yep. I have immunity, chill, relief, and alert now. I've been taking alert daily and using the gummies and drops as needed. Soul CBD, that's what I was unsure of. Oh, yes. Yes, Soul CBD. So the website is my Soul CBD, mysoulcbd.com. Solid brand, and I'm not just saying it because I'm an ambassador. I reached out to them and used the stuff and really, really liked it. So it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. All right, questions. Hit me, y'all. Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Which CBD supplement is good for anxiety during the daytime? Chill would probably be good. And any CBD. Susan, if you just wanted to get oil, it would be good for you. The oil is what I have found, correct me, friends that are using it. I found the oil to be the quickest acting, as evidenced by last night. Thank you, Lissa. There is a link to Soul CBD in the description box. It is one of my recurring links. Thank you in advance for your support if you use my link or my code. Because shameless plug, it's a new month, and in order to get my free product, I have to do $200 worth of sales. So, which with the Black Friday sale, I could do myself. So easy peasy. But so if you want to support me in the process, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, you could do the oil, would be really, really good. I have heard high praise for the chill capsules. I have not tried them myself, so I can't vouch for them. And I have used the gummies. The gummies are great. They have a lower dose that's 10 milligrams and a higher dose that is 25 milligrams. But I think if you need to just start with something and you want like the effects, the oil is really great. I'll get you that with the Black Friday sale and more. Excellent. I love it. I love it. So I don't have to worry about it this month because y'all take care of my commission requirement. Alert is amazing too. Yes, Alert. Alert hangs out in my desk drawer. I have the little pouch, which they currently don't sell. But I have the little pouch of Alert. So Alert has 25 milligrams of caffeine in it, or 25 milligrams of CBD, and it also has caffeine in it. 10 milligrams of green leaf extract. I don't remember how much caffeine it has in it. I can't remember. 50 milligrams of caffeine. Not a question, but I'm saying here for accountability, getting back on the wagon. Yes, Rosie, what's your plan? I've never used it, but could do with something to help me sleep since my dad passed in March. I haven't slept a full night since. It's good stuff. Do they ship internationally? I don't know. I think so. You'd have to look. It's good quality stuff. It's really good quality stuff. And you don't have to worry, like, it doesn't get you high. There's no THC in it at all. It's just CBD. It's killer. Why can't you be Canadian? Not going to get into yet another thing from the States. I know. I'm sorry. Gummies are too low. I didn't notice it. Yeah. The gummies are good. But I also find the oil to be more effective. So I just like that is the one every month that we make our commission goal, you get to request a free product. And I'm no dummy. I request the 1,500 milligram drops because it's the most expensive thing. So I'm not dumb. I can order the other stuff myself. And that oil though, that's a heavy hitter and it is good. It is good. And a little bit goes a long way. They have the pouches in the starter kit that I got. Okay, yeah. So when I bought those, it was literally just a pouch pack of the Alert capsules. They have about 100 milligrams. Oh, I take 2. Okay, I was just saying, it's not 100 milligrams. Well, that might explain why you get a super kick out of it. Rock on. One of these days, if I'm really feeling it, maybe I'll try 2 one day. And then she pulls out her Alert capsules. What I've been doing is taking the Alert capsules in the morning before I start working, and then I'll take a gummy or before something I know may be triggering like Zoom meetings, and keep the drops on hand for quick relief. Tomorrow equals a 10,000 step day with pre-work and lunch break walk. I love it. We're going to hold you accountable. Please tell us, Rosie, when you complete your 10,000 step day and give us some updates throughout the day. You just rub oil on your skin. No, the oil you take under your tongue. They have a relief cream that you put on topically, but the CBD oil is something you ingest. So you take a couple drops. Hold on. This is what it looks like. This is the 500. The bottles all look the same. They just have a different number based on the strength that you buy. But you take out a couple of drops and just stick it under your tongue. And it has a measurement on there. And you'll get an email when you order about the dosing. So for 1 milliliter, which is, for me, it ends up being 2 droppers because for whatever reason, I can only fill up the dropper halfway full at a time. So I take 2 half droppers. And I think in this, it's 17.5 milligrams or something. But if you do the 1,500, that a full dropper of that will get you like 50 milligrams or something crazy. So and the flavors are great. My favorite is currently watermelon mint. Really enjoying it. Do you want to know what the new flavor is going to be? They never said it was under embargo. But they are releasing. I want to make sure I get it right here. Soul Squad. Let's see. Happy and Harmony launch on November 16th. Blackberry pie. 500 milligram tincture. Like Thanksgiving flavor. Blackberry pie is what's releasing. So there's that. If you need a new and exciting flavor to try, I'm a big fan of watermelon mint. Peppermint's fine. Have I tried another flavor? Oh, raspberry. I tried the limited edition raspberry. So I keep ordering watermelon. Any earthy, weird flavor. It doesn't taste like much at the end. But it's a solid product. It's a really solid product. They currently only ship to the USA. Oh, that's a bummer. I bought the 1500 bottle and chill capsules when it was 25% off, and then they emailed me and I got a free 500 bottle. Y'all, if you want a CBD brand to commit to, and again, not just saying it because I'm ambassador, since I've been purchasing for myself, I have gotten, I think, 2 or 3 free 500 milliliter bottles. I got my latest reward was, I feel like there was something else that I got. Oh, well, yeah, my latest reward, I don't know what the spending thresholds are, but like I've been buying the stuff to try, right? Because I like to try what I advocate to you guys. And my latest reward was literally free immunity capsules and dream capsules. Those are $62 a piece. And all I had to pay was like $4 shipping. That was it. Like, no joke. Easy peasy. And you earn reward bucks on top of it. So like I'm racking up points too, so I can use them as a discount when I make a purchase. Like, I don't even know what their reward program is, but I'm not gonna knock it. I'm like, I don't want to jinx it because they keep giving you free stuff for purchasing stuff that you're gonna love. Like, who doesn't want that? It's amazing. I'm so intrigued by the CBD. It just seems like a miracle cure. And then, yeah, then you get skeptical. No, so honestly, not to throw you under the bus, Lissa, but like Lissa was not going to do it. She was not going to do it. And we finally convinced her to do it. And now look how much she loves it. I do this because this is where the chat is for me. I don't know if this is where the chat is for you guys, but it's where it is for me. Like, she loves it. I've had multiple people, multiple members of this community that I have converted, and everybody is loving it. Loving it. And I'm loving it. I'm trying really hard to get my husband to start taking it. Because with all of his, just like, he's been a little bit more anxious than normal. I'm like, babe, just a little bit under your tongue before you start work. That's all I need you to do. And it would be so much, like, you would feel so much better. He hasn't been willing to do it yet, but I'm this close. It really is helpful. I got it for, I hope she doesn't see this video. I don't think she will. I bought the 2 sample packs for my sister-in-law for Christmas, and I'm going to have my mother-in-law buy her the oil. Because she knows about CBD. She takes some on occasion, and I'm like, no, you need this stuff in your life. So I got it for her for Christmas. And great gift idea. Great, like, it's wonderful. It is sometimes feels like it's too good to be true, but like I really, like, with all the anxiety I've been having lately, I should probably up my dosage. I have not been as good about taking it regularly, and maybe that's why I'm having anxiety issues. But it's also just such an easy little thing. It's an easy little thing. Is there any, I'll get to your question. Let's see. Best combo in the middle of the day is 1 chill capsule and the drops. You get immediate and long-term relief, but I will say I lose all my urgency to get stuff done. I'm hoping to try lemon raspberry at some point. Like, I still want to do stuff, just don't feel the pressure to do stuff. I'm 500 milliliter, a water bottle. I assume you mean 50. But not milliliter, 1 milliliter servings. These are 500 milligrams. Did I say milliliter? It's 500 milligrams of CBD in here. And then so the bottles are all the same size, and just the dosage is different. So this is the smallest dosage. You can get 1,000, you can get 1,500 milligrams in your bottle. The servings are 1 milliliter each. Getting Lissa to try it was like pulling teeth. But a jar of alert capsules. Then I got an email for a free bottle of CBD. Then a coupon code for a free capsule starter pack. I want the free capsule starter pack. How do I get that? That's awesome. Because that would give me a chance to try the chill pills, which is the one capsule I haven't tried. Is that accurate? Have I tried all the other ones? I've tried immunity. Oh, I haven't tried relief either. I haven't tried relief. Um, my mom is struggling with arthritis, so it's something I'm thinking of. Is there any CBD product that works for the nerve pain? So I have some days I would say yes. And like, so it all, except for the topical stuff, it all works the same way. It all gets into your system. And it's kind of like Rosie said, it's kind of like the cure all. Like it works for anxiety, it works for insomnia, and it does offer some pain relief too. And that's actually what the brother sister duo that started this company. The brother is an athlete, and he started taking CBD for his chronic pain, and it helped him. So he told his sister to start taking it for her anxiety, and it helped her. So that's when they decided to start the company. Um, but you could try, like Liz is saying, relief is meant for pain relief. There is a topical and a capsule, but you could also see if just a steady dosage of this helps you as well. But there are days where it is enough. It takes the edge off for me. There are other days where no amount of CBD is going to solve my pain problems. And it just totally depends. I suggest you try it later in the day. So is he afraid it'll affect his ability to work? I don't know what he's afraid of, to be honest with you. But I did look at him and I was like, if you're planning on even entertaining the idea of an anxiety medication, please try this first. Then I'm like, and believe me, I have 2 different anxiety medication prescriptions. So like, I'm not against that, but I'm like, just try this first and see if it helps, and then we can go from there. That's what I told him the other day. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll get him. Giving him one for sleep wouldn't be bad, but he sleeps like a champion. I hate him for it. It's one of the things I hate about him is he can sleep through anything. He can get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom and not remember that he got up. Like, do you remember talking to me last night? No. Like, he was asleep the whole time. To be fair, I was at a point where I didn't want to try it because I was hoping to go on actual meds and I didn't know about the interactions. Yeah, well, I'm on trazodone and I take trazodone every night and I've had no interactions to speak of. I have not taken, interesting fact, I have not taken the lorazepam in a very long time. And I have driven in the rain and not freaked out. I was on this. I was driving home from a thing and fully acknowledge, I'm like, it is drizzling. I have no ounce of freak out in me right now. Like, granted, it's just a drizzle, but like rain is triggering for me. So like it was just interesting that I was just like so chill, listening to my music, driving in my SUV down the road. Like it was really interesting. And so what I'm gonna have to do when we drive, I'm gonna have to make sure I take my CBD because if we get caught in rain, I want to see what my reaction is on this. Um, yeah, so like that's something worth noting. I have not taken a lorazepam in a very long time. That is my driving. That is my. You're going to be in a very anxious situation, and you take that to chill out. Like that's a pretty heavy hitter, and I haven't taken it in forever. Part of me wants to get some for my parents, maybe decorate the Christmas tree with it for your dad. Relief sounds like it'd be nice for you right now with your leg pain. Wasn't Gracie on it? Yeah, so Gracie is on wait, trazodone or CBD? She has both. She's on the same stuff that mama's on. Talk about a girl being like her mama. Gracie has a trazodone prescription for when we go on long car rides or when she's at night. I am regularly giving her, if I remember, one of her treats every day is a CBD treat from Soul CBD. And she eats them, which is great. She's still crazy, but it hasn't been too long yet that I've been giving them to her consistently. So I mean, so she freaked out this morning when I said, Gracie, we're going somewhere. And like I picked her up and she started vibrating. And we're like, how does she know? But she didn't actually have as bad of a freak out in the car as she normally does now that I'm thinking about it. Like, truly, y'all, she did not have a freak out in the car today. Coincidence? Wow. It didn't even dawn on me. I was like, "Oh, look at her messing around." But, like, there are days where we go to the 10-minute drive to the groomers, and she's freaking out, like, drooling, anxious. My dog does have, like, a smell when she gets anxious. So you can tell, like, she's anxious by her, like, stinky anxiety. Like, she can be a hot mess, and the drive to the groomer will do that for her. She's panting, she's vibrating, she's freaking out. She didn't do that today at all. Oh my gosh. They work. You guys, they work. Um, I heard to be careful if your medication says no grapefruit, that CBD might act similarly to grapefruit. Interesting. I'm still waiting for that appointment with the doctor. I think we need an Eric and Brianna show for the holidays. What should the theme be? I mean, I could propose it. What I can update. I think I need to figure out the logistics of it, but I think while I'm in Florida, the thing that will be I'm going to bring back weekly live streams. Just so I have something consistent on the channel because I can't guarantee anything else consistent right now. Um, so I might be doing that, which means I should be able to get Kristen on. That could be fun. So we could be able to do that. We might be able to get Eric to come on. Who the heck knows? But we might be able to get Kristen. That could be fun. I did read a lot about how people replace their prescriptions with CBD, all the benefits without the negative side effects. Yeah, I don't know. It's amazing. It really is amazing. I'd like a live stream with Kristen too. Yeah. I might be able to make that happen. We shall see. We shall see. All right. We are almost at time. Anything else that you guys would like me to touch on? What an interesting conversation that happened tonight. Theater and CBD. I like it. I'm not going to argue about it because that's awesome. But any last minute questions? Things like that? I have nothing exciting to report. It's not entirely true. I did talk about earlier with my patrons that coaching is going to be having a Black Friday and birthday sale. So the way that is going to work is my contract that you always get will be a 3-month commitment minimum. So for people who are wanting to commit to one-on-one coaching, if you decide to do a pay in full option, I'm going to knock $100 off of the price and throw in an extra week. So instead of 12 weeks, you get 13. And you'll be able to purchase your coaching now. And if you want to redeem it like January or February, that's okay. I'm letting that be fine because I'm guessing not many people want to sign up for coaching during the holidays. But if you sign up, you can use it later. So let me plant that seed in case you were on the fence about doing coaching and things like that. Did we get to the live without discussing the upcoming new Weight Watchers plan drama? We sure did. We sure did, y'all. Yes, we did. Weight Watchers launches its new plan on Monday. There's that. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure there will be plenty of stuff coming out about that. Would have liked to discuss the Dave. So, full transparency, I didn't know that happened. But I subscribe, call it what you will, my guilty pleasure YouTube channel is Kaya's World. And how much will the Black Friday sale be? It'll be $100 off. So for the 13 weeks, it'll be $800 instead of $900. So I subscribe to Kaya's World, and some of her a lot of her videos are about the Hollises, and she just will go and basically discuss what's wrong with them and what do they do now. And like, she attended Rise virtually so she could give us the 411 and what happened and everything. And so okay, hang on. I can provide for y'all. I can provide because it's been taken down apparently. So hang on. Let me go to my. Now you've done it, Susan. Now you've done it. Where are you, Kaya? Here it is.
in your rush to return to normal.
Stop. There we go. Here's the link, y'all. Let me know if that works. Um, so Kaya's World is who I heard it about, and the video is literally titled "Dave Hollis has a meltdown on Instagram Live." Apparently, he was live for 2 hours the other day, and I don't remember exactly what day. I only got like halfway through her video. I was listening to it over lunch, and he basically, I listened. He basically had a whole like, if you're not going to buy my book, unfollow me. So just for kicks, I unfollowed him. And I'm like, all right, if that's how you want to play, that's how we'll play. I'll get the drama through Kaya, apparently. But he literally just had a moment, apparently. Like, Noah comes out and he not ignores her, but like doesn't listen to her, doesn't pay attention to her, and he's been away from his kids for a week, and like all Noah wants is daddy to come in, and instead he's sitting out on his patio talking about the billion reasons we should buy this book, and apparently it was a like a big old meltdown, and it has since been deleted from Instagram. I don't know. I don't know the full version of what happened, but there is a 23-minute video on it, and then apparently Susan says you can find the whole thing. I haven't looked that much into it, but I am aware that it happened. And I'm like, oh man, just when we thought he was doing so well, he had to go and short circuit. Oh, there's an apology? Really? Where is that? It's on YouTube. I was into the houses before, but the drama is fun. It has turned into my trash TV. Like, I used to love them, and now it's just a crap show. It really is. Oh my gosh. Apparently, lost respect for both of them. Yeah, I thought Dave was doing fine, and then like he like did this whole blitz through book tour thing. I don't even know. But I feel like maybe it's his time to have a crisis. Which I mean, in the spotlight that he's in, not totally unwarranted, but good lord, pull yourself together, man. Be better than your ex-wife. So basically, he had his equivalent to the Rachel Hollis clean my toilet debacle. So they've both had their meltdowns now. I guess I know what I'm listening to tomorrow. Apology post on Instagram yesterday. I will go and I will look at that as soon as we are done here. I will. I must have missed it because I think I watched this video yesterday. When did it come out? November 2nd. Yeah. So I saw it and turned it on yesterday. And at the time, I went over to Instagram and there was no acknowledgement of the meltdown. Like it was just gone. And I was like, "Ooh, is it still up?" No, it was gone. And it was like it never happened. So it must have happened. The apology must have happened after I looked. And unlike his ex, it doesn't seem to be blaming his team or something for it. So that's something. Yeah, right? He can't blame his team for that. I mean, she couldn't blame her team either, but like he's sitting out on the patio of peace, deliberately neglecting his children. So it's easy to have a meltdown online. Yeah. Yeah. Except she has said like 80 things that are bad, and this is his first oopsie. Exactly. Like we're all allowed to have a meltdown. It will happen to all of us at some point, maybe not publicly, but like we'll all have that moment, right? So like this is his first one that we know about. She in her books like has hinted to other moments. Like he's talked about his when she was going to publish her book, he like drank for 2 days and whatever. Like we all have that. But this is apparently his first like I got real bad taste in my mouth from him watching the Kaya's World video. I'm like, this isn't Dave. Like, is he I literally had the thought, I'm like, is he drunk? Like, did he go up and go on a bender? And this is what's happening? Because it was so not like the public persona of him that we know. So and he didn't blame his team. Yeah. So he's still doing better than Ray Ray. But So it's fine. I unfollowed him for a little while. It's not I mean, let's be honest. I don't follow Rachel either, but do I check in on her? Yes, I do. Help myself. Um, but good topic to end on. Good job, Sue. So we have the coaching sale. We have Dave Hollis having a meltdown. There you go, friends. There's your next 90 minutes of your life. He told Noah to get a life or something that effect. She was asking for pancakes for 2 hours. Oh, poor girl. Yeah, I know she came out and like I hadn't gotten that far in the Kaya's World video of him actually being like, no, no pancakes yet. But seems to be setting the bar low. It's true. It's true. It's true. Go and watch it. We can discuss further. Because I have to finish the video too. So there's that. All right, friends. I'm gonna go. Primarily because my tummy's rumbling and I'm hungry, I guess. So I gotta go eat something. But thank you for hanging out. This was fun. Thank you for letting me talk about theater. It was really nice to reminisce on that for a while. It really was. For my friends who are the church watching folk, I do sing at church this weekend. So if you're interested in listening to a worship set, you know how to get it. You know how to get a hold of it. And if you don't, send me a DM and I will tell you. And yeah, I will talk to y'all later. Have a wonderful night.